It's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Do you know the old song here in America, "If I Had a Hammer"? I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening all over this land. I'd hammer out justice, I'd hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out love between... What was that song about? The song's about using whatever tool you've got to make this a better world. And I used that this morning because tools include this concept of being made for a purpose. And you and I were made for a purpose. Actually, for many purposes. And some of those we're looking at this week. So I talked about the importance of us loving. We were made to love. I talked yesterday about the importance of us working. We were made to work. Today, I want to talk about the purpose of being made to enjoy. Now that's going to throw some people for a loop. God actually made us to enjoy this life, His world, creation. So let's do three things real quick. Number one, we're going to dispel the myth. Number two, we're going to explain joy from Scripture. And then number three, we're going to talk about how we handle this today. Number one, dispel the myth. You may not know Max Weber, but in the early 1900s, I think it was around 1904, 1905, somewhere in there, he wrote a book on the Protestant work ethic, where he argued that this Protestant concept that we need to be working industriously before God was responsible for the advent of capitalism. This Protestant work ethic, also called a Puritan work ethic, is a concept that you've got 24 hours today. You need to be spending them diligently working for God. Austerity, focus, don't enjoy this world even for some. It's just work. That's not biblical. That's Max Weber. What's biblical is to work in its season, but also to enjoy in its season. God gave humanity a Sabbath for a reason. So, point one, there. Point two, what does Scripture say? There's this delightful Hebrew word, simcha. Simcha is a reference, it's usually translated joy because that sounds pretty pious for the Bible, but it also means mirth. It means pleasure. It means, yes, sorry John Piper, fun. In fact, you will see in the usage in the Psalms, Psalm 4 verse 7 uses simcha and says, "You have given me more joy than when their grain and new wine abound." In other words, God, you've put more happiness and mirth and gaiety and joy, fun into my life than the people who are just getting drunk and eating all the good food. The very next psalm also talks about how God has put joy in our hearts. We're supposed to enjoy this life. How about the psalm that says, "Behold, how good and pleasant it is, joyful it is, when brothers dwell in unity." Like oil poured on the beard, running down onto the toes. That back then was a good thing. This is joy. Biblically, we're to enjoy this life. So point three, how do we do this? It's balance. If you live all of your time just enjoying the moment, you may not get done the things that need to get done. You need to eat your broccoli and you need to eat your protein as well as the occasional dessert. But the bottom line is don't think God made you to be miserable. God didn't make you because He wanted you to be a slave. God made you and He gave you taste buds to enjoy taste. He gave you sensation to enjoy senses, ears to enjoy beautiful music, nose to enjoy beautiful fragrances, all of your eyes to behold beauty. All of your senses are there not just to get by, evolution, but are there to enjoy. So enjoy the Lord today, and tomorrow I'll give you another purpose for which you were made.